You gotta shut up and you gotta be with yourself for a small period of time so you can feel the truth of yourself in those spaces so that you can begin to move through your own life in accordance to your own energy and what you want and who you are. And if being called a bitch by someone is the price that I pay for my fulfillment, my happiness, my freedom, my pleasure, so be it. They can have that.
Hey everyone, this episode starts a little bit differently. Before Anjali and I officially began recording, we were already in such a real, alive conversation that I decided to keep this part in. You'll hear us drop in for a few minutes, and then you'll hear the moment we move into the official intro. I loved this moment so much, and I just couldn't bring myself to cut it because there's so much medicine here, a lesson we could all take to heart. So we're going to begin right there. Enjoy.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm like,
What's up, girl? Tell me.
I'm just like in survival mode right now.
Bro.
Yeah, girl. Like,
I'm like, I feel like I'm moving 1 minute at a time. Like I literally have to take it one fucking minute at a time.
yeah, dude. I'm just like, I'm like, okay, this is like, is this an expand? This is a collapse before an expansion? Um, so yeah. And I thought I was like, I was like, should I reschedule this podcast because I'm not in the best energy? And I was like, no, girl, just show up.
I think that's gonna be powerful and that will land with everyone.
Yes.
'Cause yeah.
I'm just like so done not showing up when I don't feel powerful.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
like,
actually a
I'm actually
huge
like
lesson.
tired of that pattern.
Mm. Because do you usually back down or like say not right
Totally.
now?
It's part of my collapse. It's part of
Okay.
my collapse pattern where I'm like, I just feel so shitty. Let me not show up. But I'm like, oh, but like actually I can feel this and I can still show up, and that gets to be part of me being powerful. Like
Hmm.
not just waiting until I'm powerful to do the thing.
You know what's so funny? Like I'd be really excited to take that exact thread and because it's making me think of 75 her, to be honest.
Yeah.
And how often are we waiting for ovulation to go on the date and or um do the hard workout, do the thing that we know like we're primed to do, but like are we even letting ourselves attempt to show up when we feel more low?
Yeah. Or like this whole theory around like how awful luteal is. And
My God.
what a story of
To keep us down.
I love the orientation to the luteal phase, but I hate the story that comes with it
Hmm.
of luteal has to be this awful thing where you're gonna feel ugly. Like, why can't you feel hot when you're luteal?
Okay, we need to drop in so that we get this on
I'm
like
like, is it
record.
recording?
I mean,
It
technically
is.
it is. Technically it is.
I
But
just put this right in.
this can be the teaser. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Pelvic Pulse podcast. I'm so excited. We have an amazing guest with us today. Man, oh man, are you in for a treat? Okay, Anjali. She is a women's transformation coach and somatic practitioner teaching women the path of self devotion as sacred rebellion and how to reclaim your holy bitch. I love it. Her work has supported thousands of women in reclaiming their voice, embodying sovereignty, and learning the art of healthy boundaries with soft hearts. And I think that is such a beautiful place to begin. You are just one of the most radical women in the best way. And I freaking love it. That's your brand. Um, Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to be here, and I'm so excited for this conversation that's going to come through us today and however it wants to.
I know, right? It's like where do I begin? Like what feels alive and most important for you like on your heart right now? Just curious.
Hmm. What's coming through me is just like this theme of radical woman. And I think like something that's really tender for me right now is 3 years ago, I like opened this space of radical woman as my business. And part of the work that I share with the world is helping women recognize that them stepping into their power, them stepping into their voices, them reclaiming their like their no, them being able to hold the fullness of who they are doesn't mean that they have to close, doesn't mean that they have to become hardened, doesn't mean that they have to
Mm.
become cold.
Mm.
And I just feel that so much for the world right now and what women are moving through.
Is that what you're seeing most women do is like they instantly say they get their heart broken? Like you deal with a lot of women in relationship and going through those kinds of reclamation journeys, I'd say, right?
Yeah.
Like say they get their heart broken and maybe their body shows it, that hardening, that tightening. I feel like I see that often in the pelvic floor, but I could see how a lot of women are, yeah, just shielding up, pulling up those guards,
hmm
and
Yeah.
that hardening their hearts a little bit,
Yeah. And it's
which
so
is
easy to fall into. It's such a tempting place to go into.
was that part of your story? And then you like, aha, like I have a cold heart right now. Like what was the deal?
Well, my story started with abandonment, like deep abandonment, right?
Oh,
And
yes. I'm familiar with
um
that one.
yeah, right. Like we all have these personal journeys of, what we went through in our youth and in our childhood. And I grew up in an incredibly dysfunctional and chaotic home with an absent father,
Mm,
emotionally and energetically, but not physically.
mm,
And so much of my path revolved around like sourcing my enoughness and my worthiness and looking for a savior in men and in relationships, while at the same time feeling so angry
mm,
towards men and relationships.
mm,
So I had this pattern of like wanting love so badly, wanting to be chosen. Um, and those unconscious beliefs of like that hardening and that those, yeah, just feeling like men weren't safe
mhm,
for me was this dynamic where I was always attracting in the perfect scenario to like have evidence
mhm.
that I was correct in those
It's
beliefs.
like, oh yeah, I'm right. This is the truth.
I
Oh my
was like,
gosh.
I was like, oh yeah, like I'm just gonna get hurt. Like, I'm gonna be perpetuated that the story of like I'm not enough or I'm too much.
Mm,
Um, and yeah, it wasn't until I had this awakening in 2018, which was the first experience that I ever had when I was alone with myself and silent, for like the first time in my life. And I just came face to face with how my relationship with my parents and my relationship with my inner child was directly influencing what I was choosing and what I was oriented towards in my life, and how all of these things were my responsibility to shift
mm.
if I wanted to change the story for myself. And that was the moment when I started to become more free.
In claiming that responsibility.
Yeah.
And did you reject that responsibility at first, or did you step fully into that right away? Like, what was that? I mean, there's an acknowledgement, of course, and then yeah, once you kind of realize that that's it, I feel like a lot of women maybe don't even take those steps forward quite yet, and that's okay. Everyone's
Yeah.
got their own path, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just curious what yours was.
Yeah, when I had after that moment of awakening, I went right back into my life and things started shifting immediately. So like the
Mm,
first things that I started to take responsibility for was like I was like, okay, I'm not drinking anymore. I'm getting myself off of birth control.
mm,
I am shifting my work dynamic because I was in like a corporate job at the time. And I was like, I'm going celibate for a prolonged period of time because
damn.
what I saw in myself was where I was extracting a sense of my worth from being desired by men.
Hmm.
And I knew that I had to take a pause from that so I could source my worth within myself.
Hmm. I hear that. I think that's a maybe a darker side of feminine energy and embodiment, right? Is the use of your sexual energy to manipulate
Hmm.
and to get
Yeah,
what you think you want, but then it's not really what you want.
totally. It's like those nooks and crannies are so hard to look at. And like, when we talk about responsibility, which is like radical woman, part of that is radical self-responsibility.
Yeah.
Especially when so many women have been told that like we have to be responsible for so many other things outside of ourselves. And sometimes that feels easier than being responsible for just us and our energy.
Oh, I'm seeing the woman I used to be. I'm seeing women in my life right now who are the micromanagers of everyone else around them.
Hmm.
And yet all those fingers pointing out, like there should be maybe a couple more fingers pointing in.
Yeah.
But it is not easy to look at and take that
Yeah.
hard look in the mirror sometimes. But yeah,
But it's so liberating
explain
once,
that. Yeah.
yeah, it's like it's liberating to know that the power we have to change our life and our patterns is within us. Because there's something to waiting, right? And I think like there's something to the damsel in distress, the child who grew up in, certain circumstances who's waiting for a savior or waiting for someone to help them or give them the key.
Mm,
And we can get stuck in those places. Oh, maybe this relationship will save me. Maybe I'll finally feel good when this happens or this circumstance happens, or like all these things outside of me. I'm, my happiness is dependent on
mm,
versus, oh, there's this remembering that I am the center of my life as the adult woman, no longer the child who's waiting to be saved. And from that place, I get to choose and I get to move and I get to like hold my life in a beautiful way. It's like being the tender to your life.
I already just took a deep breath, knowing that yeah, I have that power. You have that power. You, as the listener, have that power.
Mhm.
Hmm. Okay. After you did those few steps, like what in your life externally looked different? How did you feel being
Felt
off birth
scared.
control, celibate? You felt scared.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I had to go through the hormonal crash out.
Did you experience
Naturally.
that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I had
Please, so
cystic
for real.
acne. I like had cystic acne all over my face for months.
Wait, back up. What was your experience with your period like before you got on birth control? And was there a reason why you went on it besides
Totally.
preventing?
Yeah, I grew up a vegetarian.
Okay.
So I grew up eating a lot of soy with no eggs. I grew up a vegetarian with no eggs. Um, so like my family ate like a very, you know, whole foods diet. But I did eat a lot of soy products, and so from a very young age, my hormones were whack. Like I had very inconsistent periods from the time I started menstruating, and I had hormonal acne like my whole youth, all over my chest, all over my back. Um, and I actually was prescribed Accutane when I was 14 and did a round of Accutane, and that did nothing for me.
Except for
Yeah,
dry you out.
it just dried me out. And God, thank God for the body's resilience. And my mom was very anti-birth control. So when I turned 18, I put myself on it. Just went right to Planned Parenthood.
Hmm.
And I did it for my acne.
Okay.
I did it for
Okay.
acne and I did it for sex, but I did it more for acne.
That is so real.
And it worked. It worked. Yeah, I didn't have acne for years, but I also just struggled, with so many emotional disorders. I just had like chronic anxiety, or I would go through chronic depression, or I had very low libido. I had a lot of, yeah, dryness, like I couldn't get aroused during sex when I was on birth control. And yeah, when I had that awakening moment, I was just like, oh my God, I gotta reclaim my body.
Mm, hmm.
It just came through so clear. I was 25.
Yeah.
And
Dude, I feel like again, it's so funny. I've had a couple of podcast episodes very recently that have come out, like the last one with Emily. I'm realizing that a lot of us just have almost to a T the same timeline
ugh,
and same experience. Um, I went on birth control also at 18, and then 2018 was also when I came off of it.
mhm. Oh my
But
gosh, that is
yeah,
crazy.
like literally same timeline, Anjali. This is crazy. But when I woke up to it, it was after reading Woman Code. And I
Okay.
think reading that and then doing the hormonal reset before I officially came off of it for 2 weeks and doing her, she calls it cycle syncing.
Hmm.
Um, Doing that for 2 months, my period came back and I did not experience a crazy crash out. I had headaches just
Okay.
around my period right before, but that was all. But
Yeah.
yours was like a return of the cystic acne. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, on my face, which was the first time that I ever had experienced that. It was just all along my jaw. My face was swollen from like how
Wow.
much cystic acne I was experiencing. I didn't have my period for a year. I was diagnosed with PCOS. Um, and I was just so committed to no longer taking any pharmaceuticals for my skin condition or for my body. So I actually found these herbs, these herbs from Bali that I
Mm.
started taking for testosterone dominance. And yeah, within 6 months of taking those herbs, my period came back.
6 months?
Hmm.
Dang. Did you change anything with your diet at that point? Had you gone back to meat or anything, or are you
I was
still
a
a
vegan
vegetarian?
at that
Shut
point.
up. More soy?
Yeah, it was, but I don't know, like I didn't start eating animal products again until like 2021, 22.
Okay, okay. How was that
Yeah.
introduction? Like, I feel like, gosh, there's so many different avenues I want to go down, obviously. But yeah, how did that feel in your body then after the herbs you regulated in your period? Was it just like a, oh my God, thank God my period's back? Like you obviously realized at some point that your period was part of being an embodied woman, sovereign, without
Yeah.
pharmaceuticals, that kind
I
of a thing.
cried. I cried when it first came back. I was
Mm.
so happy. Um, I just remember feeling like this reconnection with myself. I anticipated like every month I was just like, when is she gonna come? Like when am I gonna bleed again? I was also so afraid that I was never gonna bleed again or that something was wrong with my body.
Mm.
Um, and so I just remember when my cycle came back, I was so grateful and happy. And then I had to work through, painful cycles because then was navigating a lot of pain and cramping and clotting. And I just stayed with it and with the practices that I started reading in this book. I forget. It's written by Queen Afua.
Hmm.
Have you read it?
I don't think so. I don't have.
It's a book about cycles. I read every fucking I read like womb wisdom, womb awakening. Just
I've got
freaking
those.
yeah. In 2020, I just went down the whole womb path.
Wow.
And yeah, I was yoni steaming. I was doing work with my cervix and my fingers for the first time and like touching my cervix for the first time in my life.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I remember there was just days where I would like lay on the grass bleeding and I was just going through these like emotional purges of like, and this comes back to personal responsibility. This is going to tie right back and sovereignty
Mhm.
of all of the times in my life where I didn't feel safe to say no to a man, where I didn't feel safe to say no to sex, where I let someone enter me and I wasn't a full yes to it, or I wasn't fully ready, or really painful sex that I allowed to happen. And I just remember like reconciling with myself and like weeping on the ground and bleeding and just like giving every intention in my body to like release that
Hmm.
and claiming sovereignty over my sex, over my pleasure, over my no, over my yes. And yeah, I'm like, I don't even have painful periods anymore. I have cervical orgasms. I don't have painful periods anymore.
Like the fuck? All you have to do is feel your feelings and reconcile and claim all this goodness for your body and treat her
Yeah.
well.
I'm just saying, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I just
Yeah.
felt, I was just like, to my womb, I was just like, I'm so sorry, girl. Like, I didn't know any better. No one ever taught me.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of tying it even back to even the like self-abandonment stuff and like releasing all of those regrets, let's just call them.
Hmm.
I could envision how much your heart just like opened up and explored or exploded. And I felt I felt something similar in the past couple of years, you know.
Yeah.
Same realization. Like even with my now husband, I'm like, there were times where I totally let him enter me and I wasn't like a full yes. And I my process was like I did harden up and I closed down a little bit. And then as soon as I felt emotionally and then physically ready again to engage, um, I was still so on guard. Like I was still so trying to be in control of things and was not completely surrendered. And um, it took a couple of emotional releases and like pausing or slowing things down so much that I could actually begin to use my voice in the moment, which I think is maybe one of the hardest things a woman can do, but you need to practice it.
Yeah.
And then naming what it is that I wanted and needed, which kind of also going back to what you were saying, like extracting your value from a man's desire. It's like
Hmm.
that feels like lustful, you know?
Hmm.
Maybe like you're craving the lustful desire. And I did not want to feel that anymore. I wanted to feel more of like the cherishing energy. And as soon as I heard that word internally, I like named it and he understood the assignment. I don't know if you can hear Kita, but she's crying.
Oh, no, you can't hear.
If you're watching on YouTube, she's
Oh.
she usually sits behind me. Um, but yeah, that was like a whole opening, releasing, crying, letting him hold me, which,
Mm,
yeah, doesn't
yeah.
happen all the time or as often as I probably need.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's such a tender spot for us women to meet ourselves in and see ourselves in those spots. And I think that it's not talked about enough.
Thank God for
And
podcasting.
thank God for podcasting. Thank God for these conversations. Thank God for women who are willing to have these conversations out loud. Put it on fucking YouTube.
It's going there.
Yeah. Yeah, and just like you said, like the practice of like learning how to say no in the moment,
Yeah.
the practice of learning how to voice your needs or to slow down.
Yeah, yeah. I think you gave a really good example of this on your Instagram recently, where you were on a walk by yourself and a man approached you and seemed like he wanted to get to know you, and you were like, mm-mm, like I want to walk on by myself.
Yeah.
Can you tell us
Yeah.
that
Oh my
story
God.
again? And then like
Yeah.
let's dive in.
Yeah. One of the things that I teach women, there's a very big difference in walking around in the world feeling like I can't do that or else. I can't do that or else something bad's going to happen to me. I'm going to be punished, XYZ.
They're not gonna love me anymore. I'm gonna be abandoned.
Yeah. And so
All the things.
that, when we look at actions like that we take in our lives from that place, it's like, oh, I'm not allowed to do that versus I don't want to. And that's what the situation was actually about for me. I was going on a walk. I walk every day around the lake here in Asheville, North Carolina, and a man crossed my path. And one of the things that I do now that I used to never do is I make eye contact with people. I have my head up, I open my eyes, I look around at my surroundings, and if I feel like it, I'm going to make eye contact with someone. And so I made eye contact with this man and we just smiled at each other. We just shared a smile, kept on walking. And then a couple moments later, he's walking right up next to me, turns around, he walks up next to me, and he just starts asking me questions. And I could feel him. Like I'm in my body, I can feel him. This man does not appear threatening and he does not feel threatening to me. And he's just asking me a few questions and I'm answering them. And all of a sudden, I feel myself in that moment. And I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Mm.
So I turn to him, I stop walking, I turn to him and I say, wow, thank you so much for coming up to me and saying hi. I actually would like to finish the rest of my walk alone, but I hope you have a great evening. And he said, no problem. Thanks for letting me know. Can I get your number? I said, no, but have a great night. And I just kept walking. And it's like, those are the moments
It's like,
where like I can learn, I can say no now without being like, get the fuck away from me.
mm,
And like going full armored up, full fight mode. Because and I used to do that, and I've worked a lot with my nervous system to be able to oscillate between the shutting down, fawning. There's a version of myself that would have, years ago, just let him talk to me the entire time. He would have given me his number, I would have taken it. He would have texted me, I would have never responded back. And then I would have felt victimized by that entire situation.
mm, mm.
But it's like that's the place that I'm talking about where I'm like I'm responsible for my life and I'm not available to feel victimized by this.
You know what? Honestly, you're making me think about what literally just happened this morning, and I could have handled it very, very differently. Because I did kind of what you just said. I put up my I'm ready to fight kind of mode. But
Mhm.
that's because I was literally on a call that I wanted to be paying attention to right before this. And a guy knocked on my door, like very, very loudly, boom, 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 boom. And with where we live, like no one really comes up to the door, but he knocks really loudly and then waits and then knocks again. And Kita's just barking the entire time. And so I can't even hear my call. So I get annoyed and I get up and I answer the door. I hold her back. She's still barking this entire time and I can't hear what he's saying. And I'm just ugh, like so frustrated that he's even asking me this stuff. And I know that I'm not interested in whatever he has to tell me. He's selling something, pest control or whatever. And I'm grateful that he's including me in the neighborhood, whatever, watch protection from rats. But I I should have because after I sat down and he left, I told him like leave your card on the porch. That's fine. I'll get to it. Whatever. Knowing full well I'm not going to get to that card. I'm going to recycle it. But I get down to my desk and being here now with you, I'm realizing I should have taken full responsibility and been like, I'm not answering that door. I'm going to stay with my
Mhm.
own thing here
Hmm.
that I wanted to be at actually, and let him deal with whatever that is over there.
Yeah. Yeah. And that moment was just a teaching moment. It's like that
Totally.
moment was just there to teach you and reveal to you. And it's like, how graceful can we be with ourselves in those moments too?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. No,
It's
it's
gonna happen.
low.
Like life is gonna happen, and we are going to sometimes bulldoze
Oh, yeah,
our own boundaries. And like you said the other day, we were on a call and you were like, sometimes we don't know our boundaries until it's crossed.
exactly. Yeah.
So what a gift to know the next time that someone comes pounding on your door, you don't even have to answer it.
Yeah. I can just walk by the window and be like, hey, and then go back to my desk. I'm just
Like,
kidding.
no,
Yeah.
thank you.
You guys, you need to be
Yeah.
watching this on
And
YouTube.
like trusting that people can handle your no
Ooh, speak
is
more.
another huge part of this journey of becoming a woman that can say no.
Okay, I'm gonna flip the coin over and be like, also be a woman who can handle your partner's no without collapsing. That was my
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it
learning.
goes both ways. It goes both ways. So
Yeah.
in the work that I do with women, what I typically see is like women who have a difficult time sharing their boundaries in general, saying no, um, also have a very difficult time receiving boundaries. Like I'm like that was me like when someone there's this story that I tell inside of my containers where I'm like, oh, like there was a moment when I was working at my corporate job and I had a general manager who was like just a very direct woman. She just did not bullshit. She did not put sprinkles on top of things to make you feel better. She was just direct. She wasn't mean. But I always took her directness so personally. And so I labeled her as a bitch in my head. And now looking back, I'm like, no, she wasn't a bitch. She was direct with me and she wanted me to do a good job. And she didn't have the emotional or energetic space to like baby me.
Mm.
She was treating me like an adult, a capable adult, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, yes. Let's talk about this holy bitch personality and this embodiment for a woman because number one, if I were to be called a bitch at this point now because I know you and I know what it means for
A
you,
brave,
like
intuitive,
your
true-centered
definition.
hottie.
Say it one more time. Say it one more time.
I'm a brave, intuitive, true-centered hottie.
Yeah. Then I'm like, thank you. Yes, I am a bitch. But
Yeah.
still, there's some like rewiring that has to like happen and still gets to be integrated in really, really claiming that.
Yeah. Oh, women, it's like one of the biggest things that we're told. There's a few, right? It's like some of the most taboo things to be called as a woman is like bitch or slut.
Mm.
And when I think about those things, I think, okay, well, women who are typically labeled as a slut are like, or selfish, right? Women who are labeled as a slut are like sexually expressed and usually like very empowered in their sense of sexuality and their desire and their pleasure. Women who are seen as selfish are usually the women who are putting themselves first. They're not abandoning or neglecting their own needs. And women who are called bitches are usually the women who aren't afraid to advocate for themselves and take a stand for themselves. And so, a huge part of what I teach women is to build this relationship with yourself where you know who you are and you know where you're coming from. Because so long as you know the depths of who you are and the cleanliness of your energy, because there's moments in my life where I am off and I am snappy and truly like bitchy.
Mm.
And when I am, I can take accountability for those moments. I can see myself in that and I can take responsibility. I can clean up my side of the street because I'm a woman in integrity. And then there's moments when I know that what I'm saying is rooted in truth. And if someone perceives that in a way, through their own lenses, if they see me as a bitch, if they see me as too much, if they see me as selfish, if they see me as whatever, I don't have to fix or fight against that projection.
Mm.
And that's actually what allows us to feel free and less uh, stuck in these boxes that society or other people try to put us in. It's like the courage to be disliked, the courage to be misunderstood and misjudged and misperceived.
Hmm. How have you handled that? Like, was that story of the corporate boss lady, like after you left corporate, how did you begin to, um, I guess, embody that and then teach that, you know? Like what did it first feel like, I guess, if someone ever called you a bitch or if someone truly like called you out and was like, "You're selfish." How do you respond?
Yeah, I used to feel so defensive.
Mm.
I mean, a huge initiation for me was getting canceled on the internet.
Shut the fuck up. What? You feel
Yeah,
beloved to me on the internet. You feel beloved.
I was
You you're a
I was
sacred treasure.
canceled. I was like had hundreds of death threats through emails
Shut
and
the fuck up. I didn't know that.
Mhm. Yeah, I went through a really big initiation for running my mouth uh in 2020, and I was fired from my job that I taught yoga at for 7 years. I was fired from the studio because of it.
Mm.
And that was like the end of my people pleaser. Yeah, the studio had asked me to like write a public apology letter. And I was just like, no, I'm not doing that. I was like, no, nothing that I said and what I shared was uh like oriented towards harm or violence. Um, and I really got to sit with the nervous system feeling of being exiled. Because that's actually when we have these people pleaser wounds and these patterns, like that's the one of the biggest things is unbelonging and abandonment that keep us in the patterns of abandoning ourselves and shutting ourselves down and shutting our voices down and going along with what other people want and feeling afraid to individuate.
Hmm.
I had this really big explosive experience where I shut down for a while.
Hmm.
Um, and then what happened was some people started coming into my life and into my field who started thanking me for speaking out, who started thanking me for sharing my perspectives and opinions. Um, and that started to shift something in me, which was like, oh, when I share from a really authentic place, the wrong people might fall off, but the right people actually start to see me, and the right people start to get magnetized into my field. So a lot of the times when we, as women, it's like sometimes we have this craving because we're deeply relational. Another thing about women is like our nervous systems, our makeup, our biological makeup is relational. We care so much about that. And there's right relationship that feels good and genuinely nurtures our lives. And then there's the relationships that we have this internal feeling we're like, oh, this feels a little off. Oh, this doesn't feel fully right. no, I can, I notice myself shape shifting for this person, or, like I can't be my full self around this person, but it still feels better than having nobody.
Mm,
And so I'm willing to sacrifice all those parts of my truth to not feel alone.
yeah. Feel alone or be alone.
Both and
Yeah.
learning how to be alone and be silent. We're like, you gotta shut up and you gotta be with yourself for a small period of time so you can feel the truth of yourself in those spaces, so that you can begin to move through your own life in accordance to your own energy and what you want and who you are.
Mm. I wonder because you and I also have this in common. We're both projectors,
Yes.
and I'm very curious, uh, just to tweak the conversation through this lens for just a brief moment. Like how many open centers you have, and if you notice that pause away from people, truly being alone in silence, listening to yourself, like that feels so regulating, actually. It might feel uncomfortable at first,
Hmm.
but in the end, it feels more like a cleansing and purging to then get down into, like what you're saying, the truth of what we actually desire, who we want to be, all the things.
Yeah, I crave it now. I need those spaces of alone time and with myself, and like no music, no distraction, no nothing. Um, so that I can be in that connection with myself. But I also used to be, I mean, I used to be terrified of it. It was the scariest thing for me. I grew up an only child,
Mm,
so I was always alone, and I found ways to fill that loneliness that I felt with just tons of shit all the time. So, yeah, it's just interesting now, like hearing that question and looking back at my life of like where it was terrifying for me to feel alone and be with myself
yeah.
versus now in my life, like I need that. I know like in future romantic relationships, like having space to be alone is a non-negotiable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And ideally, it happened before your period or on your period,
Yeah.
in my opinion. To go full
Totally.
circle to what we were talking about before we recorded, we were talking about luteal and oh my gosh, even to label. Oh, I love these threads. Okay. Luteal, when you have potentially the highest level of irritability and mood swing, which could lead to the identity of being a biatch, like to
Yeah.
the people around you.
Oh my God.
My reframe for it is this is actually like low estrogen. So yeah, you don't have this social lubricant hormone as high.
Hmm.
So you're probably the realest you're ever going to be in that late luteal phase.
Yeah, I call it late luteal, like the truth oracle just comes right in.
Yeah.
And it's just like no bullshit, no fucking,
No
fluff,
sugarcoating.
no sugarcoating. You are just sitting with the truth. I've
It's
had a
when
lot of
breakups
breakthrough.
happen.
I've had a lot of breakthroughs. I've had a lot of breakthroughs in luteal.
I was going to say breakups.
Breakups, breakthroughs, and it's powerful. And I think like, another part of this is like, how do we learn how to be in relationship with truth and what's uncomfortable? I think like in the nervous system world, like as a somatic practitioner, there's so much rhetoric right now around dysregulation. Like you don't want to be dysregulated. You don't want to experience dysregulation. I'm like, life is inherently dysregulating.
Mm,
And actually, you are strong enough, you are powerful enough to navigate dysregulation and stay with yourself. Life is gonna life. things are going to come up, challenges are going to happen. We can't live in a fantasy of thinking that things are going to be easy all the time,
Mhm.
or that for us to function optimally as women, conditions have to be perfect.
Oh
No.
my God. Yeah.
And that's like we get to learn how to be the masters of our own energy and bring that into life. Like the feminine path is one of mystery and chaos. I don't know if anybody, like somebody in here needs to hear that. It's like the masculine path is linear and structured and it's like okay, here's the next step, next step, next step. The feminine path is not like that. The feminine path is like, oh, I'm surrendering into the mystery. I don't know what's going to happen. Can I trust myself every step of the way? Can I trust that I can hold myself in the void, in the unknown, in yeah, the chaos? That is luteal.
Why is that so funny?
Mic drop.
Ah,
Yeah.
what a fucking blessing. What a fucking blessing to be a woman and to be non-linear, more cyclical, more chaotic, more creative. Like, I feel like the feminine path for all of this, it births the most creative ways of dealing with things, finding solutions, finding just a brand new way.
Yeah. Being so connected to our intelligence, like our innate feminine intelligence that lives in our bodies and our bones, in our ancestry. And yeah, like we're so intuitive, we're so brilliant. Um, so much of what we feel and how we feel is beyond logic, and it can't be labeled, it can't be pinpointed on a map. It is just deeply felt. And when we return to, that's another part of like coming off of birth control was like I've just felt so much more intuitive, connected, like in my body.
Mm-hmm. You weren't on
And
mute anymore.
yeah, yeah, I could like smell the men that I was attracted to finally. Pheromones.
Yum.
Pheromones are real. Um, yeah, women are just amazing. And what I want every woman to have access to in her life is to feel the power that she has in her own body and in her own voice and in her own discernment, her ability to move out of survival and knowing that women don't have to live in fear. You don't have to live in fear of making eye contact with a man. You can choose. Do I want to make eye contact with this man or do I not want to? You can choose. Do I want to say yes to this opportunity or do I want to say no? And just like reclaiming your choice and your ability to move through the world in a way that is truth based. And when you do, everything in your life begins to reorient and rearrange itself to that. Your work opportunities, the way that you work, your relationship with your body, your intimate romantic relationships, your friendships.
Your body itself.
Yeah.
No more painful periods,
Yeah.
cervical orgasms.
More orgasms, more pleasure, more play,
Mm-hmm.
more softening.
Cellular reorientation that
Yeah.
gets out into the matrix. That's what I'm like seeing
Yeah.
when you say that.
And it's like we do it for ourselves, but the work stretches so much further than that. Like we are really women in a time in the world where we have so many options and so much is available to us. And, I never like to discredit the fact that women have walked through many years on this planet with less choices and with true, fearing for their lives. And some women are still living in those circumstances. And so, what a gift to be able to do this work. What a privilege to be able to walk this path as women today.
Let's not waste it.
Yeah. It's like, oh, and you're afraid of being called a bitch now? It's like, all right, girl.
Lowest stakes things. Let's tackle bigger tigers.
You will live on. You will live on, and you will be liberated. And if being called a bitch by someone is the price that I pay for my fulfillment, my happiness, my freedom, my pleasure, so be it. They can have that.
I'll pay up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here and I feel like this is going to be so fun to go through and find these so many mic drops. This is going to be, I'm not even kidding, going to be so fun to re-listen to over and over, like a fucking sermon on a mount. Where can people find you? How do you want people to reach out to you? Instagram, Radical X Woman. All the links will be in the show notes, obviously. But if you had a preference, how would you want them to find you?
Yeah, please reach out to me on Instagram. I love socializing and connecting on Instagram. My handle is Radical X Woman. And please feel free to send me a DM, join the community. We have an amazing, group of women who are just so devoted and dedicated to their journey and their path. And I also have a website. It's www.radical-woman.com, and you can explore some of my services there. I do group coaching, I do one-on-one, and I also host women's retreats. Yeah.
I'll go to one of those one day.
Yes, they're magical.
They are.
Women coming together in person is a whole nother experience.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much again, Anjali, for being here. I'm so grateful. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening. I hope you took so many good nuggets away from this whole episode, and we will see you next time.
Yay. Thank you.
Thanks for listening and for placing your finger on the pelvic pulse. I'm Brittany Ellers. The music for this podcast was created by Just Tech, and I'm grateful you're here breathing this conversation in with me. You're invited to stay connected by following the show on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen, and by sharing it with someone you love. Beyond the podcast, there are 2 free spaces waiting for you: the Arousal Anatomy Adventure and my private podcast, The Pool of Presence, both designed to support you in coming back into your body and listening to what's real right now. You'll find everything linked in the show notes. Let your curiosity lead you and enter wherever you feel drawn. It's an honor to walk alongside you.